इतिहास पुराणाभ्याम वेदम सौपब्रह्मयेत बिभेत्यल्पश्रुताद् वेदः मामयं प्रतरिष्यति। श्रीमद्भागवतं नाम पुराणं लोकविश्रुतं शृणुयात् श्रद्धया युक्तः मम सन्तोषकारणम्। श्रीमद्भागवती वार्ता सुराणामपि दुर्लभा मेनिरे भगवद्रूपं शास्त्रं भागवतं कलौ। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखात् अमृतद्रव संयुतं पिबद भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। Namaskaram to all devotees. It's indeed my pleasure to be with you on this auspicious day of Vijayadashmi. In this day, we are blessed to talk about the Leelas of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. After our puja during Navaratri, today is the day that has been victorious to Lord Sri Mahavishnu. Today also being the Shravana Nakshatra day, which is the asterism of Sri Mahavishnu, we are doubly blessed. So in this day, and from today for the next, we will dwell about Sri Krishna's pastimes based on the glorious Purana Srimad Bhagavata. When we say Sri Krishna Leela, what comes to our mind? It is not something that withers away, which is temporary, but it is something that's permanent and blissful, an experience that we can remember forever. Although Krishna's incarnation took place many thousands of years ago, we relish. We still carry memories of all his pastimes. Leela means sportive pastime. Krishna, the word means Krishittu vachaka shabdaha nasya nirvriti vachakaha. Krishi denotes Bhumi, Mother Earth. Naha would mean bringing pleasure. So Krishna is the one who brings pleasure to Mother Earth. And he does it in three different means. Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam, dharma samsthapanarthaya, sambhavami yuge yuge. I incarnate in every yuga to serve three purposes. Sadhu paritrana, to save the pious. Dushta nirasana, to remove the wicked. Dharma samsthapana, to re-establish virtues and values in this world. So these are the three purposes for which Krishna incarnates. But while he does so, he, in order to give us pleasure, has lot of pastimes. Bhagavata Purana, Vishnu Purana, and all the devotional hymns, the collection called Nalayira Divya Prabandham of the mystical poets Alvars and the Purvacharya Stotra Granthas, all talk about the pastimes Leela of Krishna. This world has been created. The creator is Krishna. Even creation is his Leela. Will Leela have any purpose? Krishna, the word means the one who brings joy to Mother Earth. Leela refers to all his pastimes. So Krishna Leela are the pastimes of Krishna. There are many incarnations of Sri Mahavishnu. The popular ones are known as Dashavatara, the 10 incarnations. But it does not mean they are restricted to 10. They are countless. Krishna in Gita says, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacha Arjuna Tanyaham Veda Sarvani Natvam Vedha Parantapa. O Arjuna, many births have passed for me and for you too. But the difference between us is, I remember all those births that have passed by, but you do not. You only know some parts of your current birth. Out of the incarnations of Bhagavan, Sri Krishna Avatara is hailed as a complete one. As he lived like a human being, he suffered like many, he enjoyed, he was in pain, he was in sorrow, he was in exile. There are so many similarities that we find between us and Sri Krishna. Sri Ramavatara is also complete in all aspects. But in one point, Krishna Avatara scores over Ramavatara, and that point is Bhagavad Gita. Rama never preached us anything. He did not leave behind any note to guide us in this material world. Yes, he lived as a role model. Whatever Rama displayed and demonstrated, they were all recorded by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. We need to follow Bhagavad Gita listening to Krishna. We need to follow Rama, whatever he demonstrated. So between Ramavatara and Krishna Avatara, it is the preaching and demonstration. We need both. But as far as Sri Krishna Avatara goes, the most important part is his Balya Praya, Balakrishna, not when he preached Gita. If you take Vishnu Purana and Bhagavad Mahapurana, you won't find many verses that elaborate on Gita-upadesha. But you would find cantos and adhyayas and chapters, many thousands of slokas explaining his childhood and his boyhood. Rama was totally different. You won't find many verses in Valmiki Ramayana to elaborate on his boyhood. They all talk when he was 12. That was when Vishwamitra took him for Sita Kalyana. And all the story ends when he was 40. So Rama's story was between 12 and 40. Whereas Krishna's was from 1 to 10. Balakrishna's Leela were all over in the age of 10. He returned to Mathura, killed Kamsa, underwent training with Sandipana, then on he moved to Dwaraka. At Dwaraka, he established a large palace and was ruling over there. When he departed, it was from Prabhasa Tirtha, a place in Gujarat near Veraval, an industrial town today. So Krishna had wandered around in many places. Born in Mathura, grew up in Gokula, Nandagrama, came back and had a tutorship with his master Sandipana at Mathura again. Then he ruled his kingdom from Dwaraka, came to help Arjuna and all the Panchapandavas at Indraprastha, returned to Dwaraka, finally left from Prabhasa Tirtha. So you can't find Krishna at a place. He is like a government servant or a bank employee who gets transferred every 3 years. So he never stayed back in a place. He was traveling always. He was never friends with anybody for more than 10 years. All the friendship he had, the love and affection with the Gopikas were snapped at the age of 10. And he never returned to Mathura or Gokula any day after that. So these are the aspects of Krishna Avatara which we find it is all similar to our life. We find all these problems, all this pain, agony, pleasure, sorrow, everything is in our life, so we can relate better with Krishna. But when we talk about Krishna Leela or Krishna Avatara, there are some questions that would come to our mind. We need to necessarily understand the secret, the hidden secret behind Sri Krishna Avatara. It is known as Avatara Rahasya Jnana. Avatara Rahasya Jnana, it facilitates you to easily reach liberation. It is not only Bhakti Yoga or Sharanagati which liberates you. Avatara Rahasya Jnana also liberates us. And that is explained by Krishna in the 4th chapter. Arjuna had some doubt. I'll tell you what it is. Let's first understand the doubt of Arjuna, his question, and the replies given by Krishna. We are going to deal today's lecture with 4 verses. I'll spell them out first, then go through the meaning. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam vetha parantapa ajopi san abhyatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritin swam adhishtaya sambhavam yatmamayaya yada yada hi dharmasya glanit bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. There are only 4 verses, but it may take even 4 years to know the meanings of these 4 verses. Krishna elaborates on 6 points in these 4 verses. Arjuna raises a question to Krishna. Let's see the context in which Arjuna questions Krishna. In the beginning verses of 4th chapter, Krishna made a statement. Arjuna, never misunderstand that I have concocted this Karma Yoga for your sake. Not at all. I have preached this 28 Chaturyugas ago to Vivaswan, the sun god. Vivaswan in turn preached Karma Yoga to his son Manu. Manu in turn preached Karma Yoga to his son Ikshvaku. And then on it continued. It went through dynasties, but due to passage of time, it deteriorated. Slowly deteriorated and vanished. Now I have incarnated again to re-establish the lost Karma Yoga. So don't ever think that I have now come out with a new story of Karma Yoga. This is all well established. This path of performance, this path of karma is nothing new to me or you. They were all taught long ago. This is a statement made by Krishna. Imam vivasvate yogam tvamadau proktavaniti. Arjuna had a doubt. Oh Krishna, how can I believe that you, the very Krishna, preached the same karma yoga 28 Chaturyugams ago? Were you there 28 Chaturyugams ago? You are now. Were you there? This was the question of Arjuna. Bhagavad Ramanuja, in his glorious commentary to Bhagavad Gita, he raises a question. Do we first understand the real sense of Arjuna's question? The question was, Oh Krishna, were you there 28 Chaturyugams before? Are you there now? Would you be present in both times? That was the question of Arjuna. Arjuna is not doubting the eternal nature of Krishna. He is a firm believer of Krishna. He knows that Narayana is beyond time, beyond place, and beyond any form. He is limitless. He could have very well lived 28 Chaturyugams ago, and he is very well living even now. That was not the doubt of Arjuna. An atheist may have that doubt. But Arjuna was not an atheist. He was an ardent follower of Bhakti Marga. But the doubt in his mind was, Oh Krishna, if you would have preached, if you should have preached this Karma Yoga 28 Chaturyugams ago, then that should have been with a physical body. And I see you now with a physical body. Does it mean that you too have physical bodies many times? Does it mean that you too have many births? Does it mean that you are also not out of the cycles of births and deaths? This was the doubt in the mind of Arjuna. He was under the impression that, yes, I undergo cycles of births. It is Punarapi Manaram, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Janani Jatare Sayanam. But would Krishna undergo this suffering? Is Krishna not above all these things? If he would have preached this 28 Chaturyugams ago, he should have taken a birth. Then he was born. Birth is something condemnable to any Atma. He should have been released. Is he not a released soul? Is he not a ever liberated soul? Then why does Krishna make this statement that I preached this Karma Yoga 28 Chaturyugams ago? If at all, it's true that you have a body. It is true that you take births many times. Then, are they similar to my births? I take birth. You do the same. I have a body. You do have a body. I have pain and pleasure. Does it mean that you are also affected by the same? Then lastly, I am affected by karma. Are you also affected by karma? Arjuna was of the opinion that only the Atmans are affected by karma and not Paramatma, Parabrahman, Krishna. Whereas his understanding got shattered now by the statement of Krishna. Krishna had to explain necessarily all the questions of Arjuna. The first question was, is your incarnation true or is it illusionary? Is Bhagavan's incarnation all his births, are they all true or are they illusionary? This is the first question. Krishna replies in the first verse, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tamyaham veda sarvani natvam vedha parantapara. Oh Arjuna, you are right in your doubt. As your birth is true, mine is also true. It's not only one birth. I have taken many births earlier. I would take many births in the future too. Bahuni me vyatitani. Vyatitani passed by. Bahuni me vyatitani. Many birth cycles passed by. So it is not one birth for Krishna. Many births. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani. Tavacha Arjuna. For you too. As you have passed many births, I have passed many births. The doubt of Arjuna was about Krishna only, not about his birth. Whereas Krishna refers to Arjuna's birth as an example. Because don't you believe that human beings undergo a lot of births? Similarly, Bhagavan also undergoes. When Krishna drew a similarity between the births of an Atman and Paramatman, as a corollary, we would try to superimpose all the problems of a human being birth on Krishna too. When we establish that Krishna takes birth as a human being, then will he not undergo the same suffering as a human being? Those were the next 5 questions. So the first question was, is your birth true or illusionary? The answer was, as it is true with you Arjuna, it is true with me too. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tamyaham veda sarvani. But don't just make both of us similar. We have some dissimilarities too. You don't remember any of the earlier births, but I remember all my births. Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Bhargavarama, Rama, Balarama, Krishna, Kalki. These are some of the avatars which we know of. I was restricted this to 10 so that we relate easily and understand easily. If Alvars have sung about hundreds and hundreds, we would not even attempt to know them. That's the reason why they are restricted. If you say come here to the temple on Vijayadashmi, they would. If you are told to come every Dashami, we would not. If it's one Dashami, we would come here. Anything that is limited, anything that has a beginning and an end, we would be willing to. If I call you, let's talk about Krishna Leela for the next 365 days, you won't come. You would come for the first 3 or 6 days, and then on I won't find anybody except a few here. So anything that's restricted, that is limited, we would also be interested in knowing. As we know, 30 days Sanskrit, 30 days Hindi, there are many books that are published. Learn Hindi in 30 days, learn English in 30 days, be a master of Sanskrit in 30 days. It's not possible. You can only try to understand, but not master any language in 30 days. So why did they talk about these 10 incarnations? So that we are able to understand with our limited knowledge. None of Bhagavan's Leelas are limited. Our knowledge and the power to reason is limited. So with this limited resource available, with the limited time available, we can only enjoy some limited pastimes. That's the reason why they are restricted to 10. That does not mean it is totaling to 10. Bahuni me vyatitani. Even the Vedas says, Ajayamanaha bahudha vijayate. Bhagavan, who is never born, takes many births. See the contradiction here. In the same sentence, Ajayamanaha, one who is never born, bahudha vijayate, one who is birthless, takes many births. Will both go together? Just now the Vedas said he is birthless. But it again adds, quickly it adds that he takes many births. What it means is, yes, all his incarnations are true. But why does the Veda say he is birthless? He is birthless because his births are not triggered by karma. Our births are triggered by our karma, whereas his births are triggered by his kripa, by his compassion, not because of his karma. That's the difference between us and Krishna's birth. Bahuni me Gatita. In the first sloka, he confirms that as your births are true, Arjuna, my births are also true. They are not illusionary. They are not like some Indrajala, like a miracle. They are no miracle. They are absolutely true. This is the first one. In Swamy Vedanta Deshika, in his Tatpara Chandrika, a commentary to Gita Shastra, he lists all the 6 questions of Arjuna and all the 6 replies and the 6 secrets that were revealed by Krishna. Avatarasya Satyatvam. I request you to note this carefully. Avatarasya Satyatvam, Ajahat Swasvabhavata, Shuddha Sattvam Ayatvancha, Swechhamatra Nidanata, Dharma Gilano Samudayaha, Sadhu Samrakshanarthata. I will explain to you in detail. Just note all these 6. Avatarasya Satyatvam. The first question was on the truthness, on the true, whether the avatars were true or illusionary. Krishna confirms they are all true. Avatarasya Satyatvam. The second question was, it was an offshoot of the first question. Ajahat Swasvabhavata. Oh Arjuna, if you are born, then do you compromise on your auspicious qualities? And Atma is supreme. Atma is Jnanamaya. Atma is blissful. Atma is wise. But he has to compromise on all these great qualities if he takes a birth. When we take a birth, then we are bonded in this body. We are arrested, we are prisoned in this body. I need to behave based on this body. All the Atmas around here are equal in nature. Whoever is here and whoever is outside, whether you are an elephant or a cow or a dog or a human being or anybody for that matter, Atman inside are all equal. But the difference, the discrimination sets in due to the body. Body always discriminates. Atma always unites. We need to look at things that unite, not at things which discriminate. The more you think about discrimination, it is fear in this world. The more you think about unity, it is bliss in this world. So we need to talk about Atman, which equates anybody, which never distinguishes, which never discriminates people. Yes, we are all different. Every Atman is different. But there is none who is supreme or none who is bad. So everybody is equal. When all Atmans are equal, we are not able to behave so. You talk differently, they talk differently. There is a male, there is a female, someone is 6 feet tall, someone is 4 feet tall, someone wears a spectacle, someone does not. Why all these differences? When Atman are all equal, then these differences are due to the body wherein the Atma gets arrested. So when we are born, we are made to compromise. I need to compromise on my jnana. I need to compromise on my ananda. I need to compromise on my glorious attributes. When this Atma takes a birth, he compromises. Is it true with Krishna too? Is it true with Paramatma too? When we agree that Paramatma's incarnations are all true, then we must also agree that when he gets arrested inside a body, then he has to behave so. He compromises on his auspicious qualities. He was born as a big boar, Varahavatara. He was born as a fish, Matsyavatara. A fish cannot talk. So Paramatma cannot talk at least. A big boar cannot talk. A big boar will not even have the knowledge or wisdom of a human being. So Bhagavan would also not have that knowledge or wisdom. Is it all true? If this is true, then it means that Paramatma compromises on his attributes. He never compromises. The Shastra says, Avikaraya Shuddhaya, Nityaya Paramatmane, Sadaika Rupa Rupaya, Vishnave Sarvajishnave, Sada Eka Rupaya, one who is unchanged, one who undeteriorates. He is one who never deteriorates. He is always the same. There is no change in him. There are many changes in us. You take this body, it changes. I was there for the last 3 weeks in 3 different places. I could never cross 50 degrees Fahrenheit. As I landed today here, it was 75-80. I was in search of shawls for the past 18 days. But the moment I landed here, I didn't want any shawl. I wanted to open all the windows of my cars. The things totally changed. So even within this 18 days, I could not manage to be the same. When you have winter, clothes differ. Our taste differ. Come summer, clothes differ, taste differ. And when I am in my boyhood, my taste differs. When I am now 45, my taste differs. I was told to have better gold earlier. I didn't want to. Now my doctor advises. I accept it. My taste changes. So we all change every day. There are 6 changes that occur to everyone. Asti, Jayate, Parinamate, Vivardhate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyati. This is known as Shat Bhava Vikara. This is Vikara. These Vikara are of 6. Asti, it's there. Jayate, it takes birth. Parinamate, it begins to change. Vivardhate, it grows. Apakshiyate, it deteriorates. Vinashyati, it collapses. So there are 6 differences for everybody. This is known as Shat Bhava Vikara. When we are affected by Shat Bhava Vikara, will Bhagavan also be affected? As he takes birth, then he should also be affected. As I take birth, I get affected by all the 6. So he should also be. Krishna replies in the second sloka, Ajogi sanna Upanyasam bhutanam ishwarogi sanna prakritim swam asittaya sambhavam yatma mayaya. Arjuna, I am never affected. I don't compromise on any of my auspicious qualities. Wherever I am as I am. My essential nature never changes. My auspicious attributes, they never change. So that all remain constant for Bhagavan. That's why this slokam says, Sada Ekarupaya, Ekarupaya. The first Ekarupaya stands and talks about his essential nature. The second Ekarupaya, you will find it repeated. Sadaika Rupa Rupaya, Ekarupaya Rupaya. Ekarupaya is for essential nature, and it gets repeated because even the form of Bhagavan never changes. Our form changes, whereas he never changes in his form. Ekarupaya Rupaya Vishnave Sarvajishnave. So this is the second thing which Krishna confirms. Ajopisan, Upanyasam Apisan, Bhutanam Ishwaropisan. Desika confirms Ajahat Swasvabhavata. Swasvabhavata is essential nature and characters. Ajahat, Krishna never compromises on any of his auspicious attributes. His attributes are known as Kalyana Guna. His Kalyana Gunas are all Mangala. They do Mangala to this entire universe. They are called as Asankheya, Anavatika Adishaya, Asankheya, Niravatika, Kalyana, Mangala Gunaha. Asankheya, they are countless. They cannot be counted. Niravatika, they don't end. They are always enjoyed, but they never diminish. They never deteriorate. Asankheya, Niravatika, they are so complete and they are so auspicious that as many bhaktas enjoy, they keep growing. They never diminish. So Asankheya, Niravatika, Atishaya, Mangala Gunaha, Krishna never compromises on them. I will tell you one verse of Alvar's Pasharam. Kedavannahi Yedanda Keshavan. Alvar is singing about Varaha Avatara. Kedal refers to Varaha Avatara. Kedavannahi Yedanda Keshavan. Alvar calls Varaha Avatara as Keshavan. Who is Keshava? One who has beautiful hair is Keshava. Will the big boar Avatara, can you find hair in the big boar? Where Alvar calls Varaha is Keshava. Varaha can never be Keshava. Rama can be Keshava. Krishna can be Keshava. To an extent, Narasimha can be Keshava, because you find that in the lions. But certainly Varaha cannot be Keshava. Fish cannot be a Keshava. But yet Alvar calls us Keshava. You know why? If we look at any Varaha, any big boar or fish or tortoise in this world, they would not be Keshava. But if Krishna incarnates and takes such a form, he never compromises on his Keshavatvam. So his character is Keshavatvam. Pundarikakshatvam. He is lotus-eyed. Can I call Varaha Avatara as the lotus-eyed? I can. He will be lotus-eyed in a Varaha Avatara, or as a fish, or as a tortoise, or as a Nrisimha. He is lotus-eyed everywhere. He is Garuda Vahana everywhere. So he never compromises on any of his qualities. We compromise. Although this Atman is eternal, This Atman is ever blissful. It is always wise. We compromise. We behave like fools here. We behave like idiots here. We mew like a cat and we roar like a lion. Atma is neither a lion nor a cat, but it roars, it mews, it howls, it does everything. The reason being, it is bound by this body. So whichever body it assumes, he needs to necessarily behave so. Whereas Bhagavan need not, as he never compromises on his qualities. This is the second question of Arjuna. Do you compromise as I compromise? No, I do not compromise. Ajahat Swasvabhavata. The third question was again a corollary. It was Shuddha Sattvamayatvancha. Arjuna questions. I know what my body is made of. I would like to know what your divine physical form is made of. I am made of Prithvi, Apu, Tejas, Vayu, Akasha. The primordial cause of creation is nature, which is Prakriti. From Prakriti, it gives birth to Prithvi, Apu, Tejas, Vayu, Akasha. Earth, fire, water, ether and air. These are the 5 basic elements used for creation. We are all made up of all these 5. We are a mixture of Prithvi, Apu, Tejas, Vayu, Akasha. Without mixing, we cannot be created. If air or wind or water or fire, they were in their purest form, without being alloyed, then we cannot be created at all. You need to alloy anything. You need to mix to create anything. That's why Bhagavan performs a glorious process. It's known as Panchikarana. When he creates Prithvi, Apu, Tejas, Vayu, Akasham, initially they were all in their pure forms. Krishna then adds them. He first divides them into 5. This is Prithvi, Apu, Tejas, Vayu, Akasham. He picks one, divides Prithvi into 2. When you divide into 2, this is a half, the other one is a half. The first half is left with the same element. The second half is further divided into 4. So that becomes 1 on 8, 1 on 8, 1 on 8 and 1 on 8. Each of that part gets mixed to the other 4 remaining. If Prithvi is divided, one part of Prithvi gets added to Apu. Another part of Prithvi gets added to Vayu. Another part of Prithvi gets added to Akasha. Similarly, Bhagavan continues the same process with Apu, Vayu, Akasham, everyone. So there are 5 elements. Each element is halved. One half is left with the same element. The other half is further divided into 4, and these 4 gets added and mixed to the other 4. And that's why Krishna creates this universe. So we are an admixture. All these practices began here. So Krishna was the one who started adulterating. He started and we continue today unabated. So we are all made of this Prithvi, Apu, Tejas, Vayu, Akasha. Anything to be done, you need to mix all these 5. If we cook rice, then these 5 come into play. The rice which is grown is Parthiva Padartha. It's grown from Mother Earth, so rice. You can't cook the rice as it is. You can't just fire rice. You have to put it in water. So there is a second requirement. Just rice and water will not do. You need fire to burn it. So the third requirement. You need air for the fire to burn. Fire can't burn it cannot cook in vacuum. So you need air. And once this rice gets cooked, raw rice occupies little space. Cooked rice occupies more space. So that more space is Akasha. The requirement to keep the cooked rice, boiled rice. So now you see the role for all the 5, Prithvi, Apu, Tejas, Vayu and Akasha. So all the 5 get together. They coordinate to perform any action in this world. But unfortunately, anything that is good has something bad along with it. That is true here too. When we add all these 5, it gets spoiled very easily. If they were in the raw form, they are not spoiled. You keep water for any number of months, it won't be spoiled. You keep rice, yes, you can save it. Water is there always. Wind is there always. But you cook upma. You take some rava, which has gone out of Prithvi, add it to water, add some salt, fire it, cook upma, it is there only for 2 hours, not more than that. But all the ingredients of upma, when left alone, were unspoiled for months together. But they were cooked together, they get spoiled. Why does this happen? The similar thing would happen in our body also. We deteriorate so fast because we are a mixture of Prithvi, Apu, Tejasu, Vayu and Akasha. If they were not mixed, then we won't have this deterioration. We deteriorate because all the 5 are mixed. Now Arjuna questions Krishna, is your body similar to me? Is that also made of Prithvi, Apu, Tejasu, Vayu, Akasha? If so, what would be the underlying question there? If so, then you would also deteriorate, not only me. And Arjuna, he confirms his doubt because he has seen Krishna in his childhood, in his boyhood, in his youth. Now when he is 64 years old. Krishna was 64 when he preached Bhagavad Gita. I'll tell you why. It's only a bad calculation. Nobody has said in Mahabharata that Krishna was 64 when he preached Gita. After Gita was over, the 18 days battle was over. After that was over, all the 100 children, all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra were killed. Both Dhritarashtra and Gandhari were very frustrated. They were so annoyed with Krishna that they thought that he was the reason for all this calamity. So Gandhari was waiting to curse Krishna. When Krishna approached Gandhari, all of them went to her. Krishna also went to her. She cursed Krishna right from today. In the 36th year, you and all your family members will be destroyed. Your whole Yadu Kula would get destroyed. So that happened in the 100th year of Krishna. We know that he lived for 100 years. Now you deduct 36. Now it should have been 64. So when Gita was preached by Krishna, he would have been 64. 64-year-old Krishna is also seen by Arjuna. The child Krishna, the boy Krishna, the youth Krishna, and the old Krishna. And he has also changed. He doesn't look the same. He has crawled, he has toddled, and now he is driving this chariot. He is no more crawling or toddling. So all these changes are known to Arjuna. That substantiated his doubt. He thought, as I change, as I am subject to change and deterioration, so is Krishna. So he questions the third question. Avatarasya satyatvam, ajahat swasvabhavata, shuddha sattvamayatvancha. My body is made of pancha tattvas. My body is a mixture of the 3 modes of Prakriti, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. There are 3 qualities that are inseparable from the primordial nature. Prakriti always has Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. The quality of serenity is Sattva Guna. The quality of action and greediness is Rajo Guna. The quality of inertia, confusion, unconsciousness is all Tamo Guna. So these 3 gunas are inseparable from Prakriti. I am a product of Prakriti. All Prithvi, Apu, Tejas, Vayu, Akashams, they are all products of Prakriti. Further, my body is a product of those 5 basic elements of creation. So necessarily, I am a mixture of the 3 qualities. I am a mixture of the 5 basic elements of creation. Anything that is a mixture, it deteriorates. That's what we have seen now. So Arjuna questions, are you also a mixture? Is your body, which I see now, this physical form, is it made up of Panchabhuta? Is it made up of the 3 basic elements? Is it made up of the 3 modes of Prakriti? Krishna replies, no. My body is made of exclusive quality of serenity. It is not a mixture. It is an exclusive quality of serenity, Shuddha Sattvamaya, the purest form of Sattva-guna. We are made of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Whereas Krishna's glorious form is made only of Sattva-guna and not a mixture of Sattvam, Rajas and Tamas. You must note a difference here. If I have a mixture of three, I need to separate them. By a process I can separate them. Now I have Sattva alone. Is Krishna made of this Sattva? It is not. There is a difference there. It is not a mixture that got separated. By itself it was exclusive Sattva-guna. The difference here is, you can have something separated. If I mix something, then separate. Take only the good out of it. I have some pebbles, as well as some gems, precious gems. I mix both. Now I separate. That's a different story. I don't mix anything at all. They were precious gems alone right from the beginning. That is known as Shuddha Sattva-maya. So Bhagavan's divine form has been Shuddha Sattvamaya for long. This is the third answer. Avatarasya Satyatvam Ajahatu Swasvabhavata Shuddha Sattvamayantvamcha. We are made up of Sattvam, Rajas and Tamas. Whereas Bhagavan's glorious form is made up of exclusive Sattva-guna. How do you differentiate this? There is a way out. You can identify whether some product is made of Sattva-guna or not. It's a simple test which you need to put it to. The test is, if I look at it, all my doubts must be dispelled, bhakti is proud, knowledge and wisdom must grow. If it happens at the look of it, then that product is made of Suddha Sattva. I don't think you get that idea looking at anything in this world except the divine form of Bhagavan. That's why we call Nitya Vibhuti, Vaikuntham as Shuddha Sattvamaya, and the form of Bhagavan as Shuddha Sattvamaya. When we look at Bhagavan's form, his physical form, we slowly get absorbed to it, don't we? Why do we come to have deity worship here? It can be a formless Bhagavan too. He has two forms. Formless is one, formless another. He can be in both. Alvar in one of his passages says, Vara varuvai varumen maya maya murtiyai Ara vamudai adiye navi ahame tittippai Tira venagal tira enna andai tirukudanda ura Una thaatpattu adiyen inna mudalveno Vara varuvai varumen maya maya murtiyai Aruvam and Uruvam. These are two varieties. One is Aruvam, formless. Uruvam, with a form. Vara varuvai varumen maya. You are at times with a form. You are at times without a form. So he is both with a form and without a form. This attracts us more. It is with a form because we can relate it to it better. You have all come for a Vijayadashmi darshan today. Can you not have it at home? You can. Why do you come here? Even if you come here, you have a darshan. You have daily darshan. Why? Because we can relate it better. If we want to relate to a form, it is better done to a human form than an animal or a bird form. So Bhagavan assumes the form of a human being. When he assumes that, we relate to him better. When we take that form, his form is not made of Sattvam, Rajas and Tamas, but exclusive Sattva-guna. Shuddha Sattvamayatvancha. This is the third reply to the third question. The fourth question was, we are all born figured by our karma. Why are you born? Svecha matra nidanata. Ichha matra. Ichha is independent free will. I take birth out of my free will, not out of any compulsion. We are compelled to take a breath. If we are laden with karma, papa and punya, as a result of punya and papa, we have to take a birth. To spend that punya papam, we take birth. Unfortunately, while we are in that birth, we still accumulate papam and punya. We came here, we took birth to spend our papa punya. If we can spend it, only spending, then if we see some day or other, in some birth or the other, we have to spend all the papams and punyas. But this calculation never works because we take birth here, we want to spend, at the time of spending we borrow more. We know the plight here in this country. When you take, when you borrow, you beef up, then you top up, whatever up you want to do, you do. Finally, you are not up, you are down. So, to understand this, Krishna says here, Avatarasya Satyatvam Ajaraksa Svabhavata Shuddha Sattvamayatvancha Svechhamatra Nidanata. My Ichha, my Kevala Kripa, my Sankalpa and my free will, these are the causes for my birth, not karma. We are pushed by karma to take birth, whereas it is not karma that compels Krishna, it is his kripa. His nirhetuka kripa, his compassion, his mercy that makes him take a birth. By taking a birth, he is going to uplift us. By taking a birth, we also uplift ourselves, but by spending karma and earning karma. Krishna never spends karma or earns karma. He says in Gita, Namam karmani limpanti, name karma phale spritha. Namam karmani limpanti. These karmas do not even touch me, Arjuna. They are far away from me. Name karma phale spritha. Neither am I attracted, neither I have any wish in the fruits of any karma. I don't wish for the fruit of a karma. You wish papa karma and we want to enjoy. Punya karma, we want to enjoy. Papa karma, it is pain and sorrow and agony. So those things do not affect Krishna. The fourth question was, we are born out of compulsion of karma. Are you? No. I take birth out of my kripa. This is the fourth question and fourth answer. The fifth question was, let me repeat, avatarasya satyatvam, ajahat swasvabhata, shuddha sattvamayatvancha, svechhamatra nidanata, dharma galanam samudaya. My time of birth gets decided when my karmas ripen. When my karpas ripen, that is the time I have to take birth. Now, when does Krishna take a birth? As he is untouched by karma, then that's not going to be the determining factor. Who is going to determine the time? Who will time his birth? It will be determined by the status of dharma in this yuga. The status of dharma in this material world. If dharma is held high, Krishna will not take birth. If dharma deteriorates, it starts to bend down, that is when Krishna takes a birth. So we can take the credit of bringing Krishna down here. Because he says, Yada yada ki dharmasya glanit bhavati bharata. Yada yada ki dharmasya. Whenever the dharma gets affected, whenever there is disrespect to dharma, Yada yada ki dharmasya glanit bhavati bharata. Abhyutthanam adharmasya. When adharma shows his wicked head, Abhyutthanam adharmasya. Tada atmanam srijamyaham. Then I take birth. I take birth not because someone makes me take a birth, out of my own free will. Atma srijamyaham. Srijami. I take birth. I make myself take a birth. Yada yada ki dharmasya. Whenever dharma gets affected, glanit bhavati bharata. One person tells me that in this Kali Yuga, Krishna is yet to incarnate. So it means that dharma is held high. That's not true. Because if there is any problem to dharma, he would have incarnated. So there is no problem to dharma. If dharma is held high, and this is the plight, what would happen when dharma deteriorates? It's too treacherous to think about it even. We can't dream of that story. So yada yada ki dharmasya glanit bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. This is the fifth question and the fifth answer. The last one was, there is a purpose to my birth. Arjuna says, the purpose of my birth is to spend karma. Don't confuse with the fourth question. The fourth question was the cause of our birth. The sixth is the purpose of our birth. The cause was karma. The purpose is spending and exhausting karma. My birth was triggered by my karma. It was compelled only due to my karma. So, which is the cause of my birth? My karma. Why do you take birth? I take birth to spend and exhaust my karma. So that is the purpose of my birth. Now Krishna's incarnation, the cause was his kripa. The purpose was paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. These three were the purposes of Krishna's incarnation. Not only Krishna's, of any incarnation for that matter. If Bhagavan incarnates, then he serves all these three purposes. Now these were the 6 questions of Arjuna and the beautiful answers, the replies given by Krishna. To recapitulate, avatarasya satyatvam, my incarnation is true, not illusionary. As yours is true, mine is also true. Ajahat swasvabhata, when I am born, I don't compromise on any of my attributes. You compromise, but I do not compromise. Shuddha sattvamayatvancha, my divine form is not made of a mixture of sattvam, rajas and tamas. It's made up of exclusive sattva, exclusive shuddha sattva guna. Svechhamatra nidanata. You are compelled by karma to take birth, whereas it is my free will, it is my nirhetuka kripa that decides my birth, not out of compulsion. Fifth one, when I am born. When am I born? You are born when your karmas ripen. I am born when dharma deteriorates. So that is the timing of Krishna's birth. Lastly, the purpose of our birth, we were born to exhaust our karmas, whereas Krishna is born for sadhu paritrana, dushta nirasana, dharma samsthapana. So these were the 6 questions of Arjuna and the 6 replies given by Krishna. Now we need to know Krishna Leela, that is the topic where we started today. So when we talk about Leela, Leela is what? It sports to him. It is pastime to him. We may think someone would blame even. Is my agony a sport to him? Is my sorrow and pain a sport to him? It is not just for us to undergo pain. Bhagavan creates this material world. He created this for a very specific, very good purpose. The purpose was, unless I am given some limbs, unless I am given a body, I cannot perform any sadhana. If I have to walk, I need a pair of legs. If I have to lift and offer flowers to Krishna, I need a pair of hands. But during Plaraya, during this deluge, we were not having any body. We were just equal to Achit Tattva in our subtle form. We were not in our gross form. We don't have any sthula form. We were all in our subtle forms. We were not blessed with body, but without body, we cannot perform. We cannot follow any path. Be it Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Prapatti. We cannot follow any path. So Krishna created. He gave us this body. With this body, using this, travel. You journey to a proper path and reach his lotus feet. So that was the reason why Krishna created us. We must understand that this is the purpose of my birth. I have taken birth here to follow a particular marga and reach the heavenly abode of Krishna. To know this, he created. But this creation also is a Leela to him. Leela is a sport. In a sport, there will be rules and regulations. Do we question the rules and regulations, or learn them properly, play a good game and win the game? Nobody questions the rules or regulations. If they say it is 11 to a side in cricket, 11 to this side, one is a wicket keeper, one is a bowler, there are two umpires, if need be the third. If these are the rules and regulations, then we follow. Nobody ever questions that why can't there be 12 in a side? No questions asked. Earlier we were playing 5 days, then we restricted to 50, now it is 20, no questions asked. So when rules change, regulations change, we don't question. Rather, what do? We try to adapt ourselves to the change the regulations and try to win the game. That is where the challenge lies. So this is a game created by Krishna. We are in this samsara, we have taken a birth. There are rules and regulations in this game, and they are framed through the Dharma Shastras, whether Manu Dharma Shastra, Veda, Itihasa, Purana. We need to learn them, know to play the game properly, play the game, win over, reach Vaikuntha. This is our job. Instead, if you start questioning the basic rules and regulations, then we are not in the game at all. You can keep researching. It's not going to lead you anywhere. So let's understand the rules. It is a Leela to him. But Bhagavan is also mad. He plays this game, but there is some system in his madness. He never plays it without even a system. The system is, it is your karma, you take birth, you spend your karma, in the process you earn some more karma, then take birth again, it's all left to you. He will never interfere. When does he interfere? When we go and plead to him that, alone I am not able to play this game properly, I find very difficult enemies. There are obstacles in me playing this game. Why don't you come to my rescue? Of course he comes to your rescue. But if you don't plead for that, he never comes to our rescue. Till we think that we are capable enough of playing this game alone, he leaves us alone. If we think that we are not capable of playing this alone, going to him, we plead to him, then he gives us a helping hand. We should not blame him, or we should not brush away as though this whole is a myth. It is all mysterious. We can't understand because it is his Leela. Yes, everything is his Leela. But Leela does not mean that it is wrong. Sport, the word itself does not mean it is wrong. He is the one who created this. It all belongs to him. We do not have the authority to at least play this game. There are many people who slowly develop cricket or develop hockey or develop tennis. It will be a new country. They will only enter this time. But they also want to play. They play. They can't question. They can also play the same way only. So Bhagavan also has created. He has set some rules and regulations. It is his Leela. But his Leela does not mean he takes pleasure in our pain. Never he does that. If we want to undergo pain, it is our plight. It is our misery. If we don't want to, we go and plead to him, and that is when he blesses us, he comes to our rescue. So this is a Leela. And the Leela, the first Leela which we have dealt with is his incarnation, his very birth, avatar. If you know his avatar rahasya, then we would not blame as though Bhagavan takes pleasure in our pain. It is not so. He wants to remove our pain. He wants to alleviate all possible sorrows in this material world. Unfortunately, we don't go and take his help. So let's understand his Leela is something glorious, and the first Leela is his incarnation as such. Then let's continue with the other Leelas tomorrow. Fortunately, we had darshan of Bhagavan, we enjoyed Vijayadashmi today, and that's the reason why we were slightly delayed. Fortunately, we were delayed there. That's why we got a good place here. So there's no problem in this place. As I told you earlier, I could have continued there, not stopped there, but taking any message home would have been difficult for you. There will be too many disturbances. The meanings of Bhagavatam or Sahasranama or Gita are just not to be listened to and left like that. There are stories, there are concepts and doctrines and principles. We need to listen to them with rapt attention. Only then we can take home at least one or two. We may be able to tell you 10 or 12, and that too I may fail in many delivery. I may not be able to communicate properly. But even if communicated, you would be able to take a few. And if there are too many disturbances in between, you can't take anything. So that's the reason why we came here today. Tomorrow, the Aarti would be at 7:30. We will start at 7:40. Is that okay? Not 7. Not 7. Okay. So it's at 7:30 sharp. Tomorrow is sharp 7:30. Whoever came here today, I request to you all. Request is kindly get one more of your friend tomorrow when you come here. You are here. Kindly get one more when you come here. With these words, I thank you all for having come and even patiently waited to listen to this discourse. Thank you. We will meet again tomorrow evening at 7:30. There are some more functions and some more discourses. I think we will all have the flyers with you. You can go through that. Get to know the programs wherever they are being conducted. Kindly come and attend. We have also kept some CDs for your reference here. They are all MP3 CDs which will run for about 12 hours. Each CD, whatever you pay is for 12 hours, not for 1 hour. You go to anywhere, you buy a CD, whatever you pay is for 1 hour. Whereas you buy here, it's for 12 hours. And then you have 4 CD வாங்கினா கூட 2 மாசம் கேட்கலாம். And there are some very very important topics. Yaksha Prashnam, Vidura Niti, Itihasa Puranangalil Pengal, Mahabharatatil Manikangal, Srinivasa Kalyanam, and above all, there are 2 versions of Gita rather. Gita is there in 2 languages. One is in Tamil, it's of 140 hours for the first 8 chapters alone. It is based on the commentary of Ramanuja. That's in Tamil for the first 8 chapters. In English, you have it for 100 hours, all the 18 chapters covered, and you will have PowerPoint presentation in the last CD for all the 18 chapters. So you can run through in the computer the presentation, at the same time simultaneously listen to the lecture. So whatever you want, and all these proceeds go to some very very noble causes. That much I can assure you. So whatever you can, there are many CDs in English and many more in Tamil. We have one more option. Totally we have released about 2,500 hours of talk time. They are in about 300 CDs. 2,500 hours you can listen to for next 10 years if you want. All that is available in a hard disk. If you don't want to have the mess of keeping all these CDs in your home, transfer to a hard disk. If you bring a 120 GB hard disk, and for a reasonable contribution, you can take back this hard disk. You will transfer it to your hard disk and give it to you. Anybody who wants, there are many volunteers here. You have Sri Kumar, you can contact Kannan, you can contact Murali. They are various coordinators here. I will further explain to you tomorrow. Let's not waste time here. You are already delayed. We will meet here at 7:30 PM tomorrow. Thank you.
Excuse me once again. Now we will bring the bag and plate. For any donations you can submit here.